The trumpets have sounded and the end is nigh, but have no fear, your prophet is here. I'm the Fresh King Benjamin, host of Vibing the Apocalypse, a podcast that uses comedy to bring injustices that I went through to light. I'm an escapee from a Mormon polygamous compound in Wyoming. I was taught that the world was a wicked, wicked place. But now that I've escaped, I want you to show me all the wicked things and help me catch up on what I missed out on. Check out Vibing the Apocalypse right here on Ride the Wave Media.
This is Sarah Elbert with Daybreak Treasures Boutique, and I would like to let you know about an art workshop that's coming up. It's a healing art workshop with Prism Healing at Biscott's Bakery and Cafe, 6172 Westlake Avenue on Thursday, January 25th, 5:30 to 8. Go to daybreaktreasures.com, art workshops, to book your spot.
The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Here are your hosts, Blane and Becks.
Oh, yes, here we are. We're here for another week. Man, it's been crazy out here. It's been a lot going on, Becks. Like, it's been crazy, right?
It truly has. Are you surviving this cold, Blane?
I'm surviving the cold. It's warming up out there, though, a little bit. So, I went to Snowberg yesterday. I rode up to Snowberg.
Yeah?
It was nice. I took the tram for the first time. I've never
All
hopped on
right.
a tram. So, I had my dad in town, so we went up there.
Nice.
I took him up there. He said that's a once in a lifetime experience. I was like, well, that's once in a weekend over here for us. I was like, you can come back here anytime, Dad. So
Yeah.
we had a good time though. But the tram up there, 11,000 feet, wild. It was cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really cool.
I bet your dad, this wasn't his first time to Utah, right?
No, he his first time in the winter, but not the first time ever. He came back about May last year, but
Okay.
yeah,
So
and
this was truly a different experience,
honestly,
summer to winter. Yeah.
I told him, I was like, this is not winter right now in Utah. This is not it. But
You're like, we're experiencing some warm right now. I mean, a couple weeks ago, it was, as colder than the Antarctic. So
exactly, it was. It was awful. But let's get to our guest today, Bex.
Let's do it.
Kathy Poss from womenandwealth.com. Kathy Poss, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Kathy. It's so great to have you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
A wealth mindset coach. What is that? That's a big title, but I want to know what that is, Kathy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell us a little more about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, wealth mindset coach. So trying to distinguish myself in the industry, and there's a little bit of confusion when people talk about the coaching aspect of money. And I want to make sure that we're not confusing what we do with financial advising and financial planning. So those are a little bit different, but the same. We work hand in hand together. But when I really wanted to focus on really was when people are working with their money and making that work for them, and they are really looking at the purpose and what are my values and what do I want to see in my life? What is living my best life? And
The meme. We all want to live the yeah.
exactly. We all want to do that, right?
Yeah.
And some people have a better connection to their future self, and everyone has these like hiccups. They have these obstacles they come across, and whether it's debt management or buying a big purchase or their budget or retirement, what I found is focusing on education will get you so far. And a lot of people do that. And it's wonderful. And I do that as well. But I distinguish myself by really talking about, well, let's make our goals stick. If we want this wealth, that wealth mindset of living our best life, and we have our goals, okay, sometimes those are easy to come by. I have a goal, I want to pay off my credit cards, or I want to buy a house, or I want so much in retirement, and we can figure out some strategies how to get there. But how do we make that stick? And that's where I found that a lot of my clients were really having troubles with. going by the textbook of, okay, here's a budget and this is how we should do it. But if we don't really look at what I call the glue in between, which I describe as your behaviors, your habits, your money story, your values, if we're not really integrating all of that into the goals in our strategies of becoming, what we really want in our lives, then, like I said, it doesn't always stick.
So Kathy, this is what I'm hearing is a lot of the way that we spend and our financial spending and outlook is tied to emotions and feelings and what's deeper than just the budget that's on paper. Am I tracking? Is that what we're saying and talking about here?
Oh, absolutely. It has everything to do with that. And it starts from way back, what we were modeled when we were really young.
Yeah.
And then all of our experiences through our lives and what we see in social media, what we see in the media and everywhere, it really influences how our behaviors evolve, and really going in depth on those and really making sure people and clients know what those are.
Yeah.
And if they're naturally in some areas, and if they want to become more of a planner, become more of a spontaneous person. But there's ways we do that so that people can live their best lives and feel really comfortable with their finances so they can really develop that wealth mindset.
So how did you get here? I know there's got to be struggles and stuff to get to where you are now, but what inspired you to start this? There's got to be a story. Why are you the one? I want to know.
Yes, I have a story. Of course. Yes, I have a story. I spent over 30 years working in nonprofit organizations. I have an accounting background. So I've always worked in finance and as well as sales and sponsorships. And then I went into real estate. So I've had the financial background. I've always wanted to have my own business, but moved around, raising kids, that sort of thing. But I was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. And after a month-long struggle before the diagnosis, losing my vision, losing my cognitive abilities, and no one knowing what was wrong with me, then they finally found it after I got off a plane from Hawaii.
Oh my word. My nursing background is like screaming right now, Kathy.
Holy cow.
So flying with a brain aneurysm.
Blane, you are not supposed to be flying when you have massive pressure in your head and you have a bleed.
No.
Oh my gosh.
But luckily I had absolutely a wonderful neurologist who finally, after very, very tenaciously in a lot of scans, found it, and I got rushed down to Denver and had surgery.
Wow.
Whoa.
So starting from there, and then I lost my job, and now, I couldn't do my job. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I lost all sorts of cognitive abilities. I still didn't have my vision back. And it was hard. It was a hard road. It still is. Brains heal differently for everyone. And any kind of brain trauma is people that have that sort of thing and had brain trauma or PTSD. It's a daily thing.
It's a road. And it can be a long road. Yeah.
It can be a very long road. But I really worked really hard at reworking my brain and retraining it. And then as I was going through that, my husband of 27 years decided to call it quits. And so then I was back into the whole trauma again.
Oh my gosh, Kathy. This was a rough year to say the least.
This was all in a year?
No, 2 years.
2 years?
Oh, 2 years.
Into my recovery.
Hey, 2 years, 2 decades. That's a lot. That's a lot. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I was, myself, who I had taken care of the money. I knew money. I knew finances. But
From your previous background, that's where the
from
money.
Yeah, you've really
Accounting.
been in finance forever, it sounds like. Real estate, finance, all of these things. Fortunately, that was a strong foundation
very
for you.
fortunately.
Yeah.
But I even found myself going, the sense of security and in my confidence, even with all my background, was really low. And I had to work really hard on myself that way and really learn to coach myself. And then being involved in some divorce groups, I was helping other women who are going through the same thing, helping them with their situations, which all involved all these really strong emotions. So I moved to Utah and started completely from fresh, but still kind of wondering, where was I going to land? What was I going to do? What was my purpose? And I have all these ideas. Nothing was really coming to me. But then I went back to, gosh, why did I live?
Yeah.
And
That's a powerful statement right there,
yeah,
Kathy. Oh, my word.
and I've always been drawn to that. Like, okay, I've got a second chance here. What am I going to do with that?
So, really questioning, what direction are you going?
Exactly.
So powerful. Wow.
And I guess, because of all of these things that had happened quickly in a 5-year period, I landed on financial coaching, which was completely like, whoa, my goodness, why didn't I know about this before? But it really combines a lot of my strengths in financing and working with people, which I love to do and I love to teach, but also all my experiences.
Yeah.
Hands-on experiences. So.
Who better, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, who better really to teach women who have gone through, that experience? And we mentioned earlier, fortunately, you had the financial knowledge, 27 years of marriage, what to do. I know there was a lot going on outside of that, but you had the knowledge in there, right? And a
Right.
lot of women, and I'll speak for myself because I'm a divorcee, right? I'm remarried, but that is a scary thing, particularly when children are involved. And here you are, a single woman raising kiddos. And I just want to mention this is primarily your target group, right? You really help a lot of women who are in this situation, a lot of divorcees who find themselves, and who better to teach that than somebody who has gone through that?
Absolutely. Yes. My focus is on, I call it solo women. I also work with widowers and I work with partnered women. So it doesn't necessarily mean you are single, living on your own, but that you want your own ownership of your wealth and your finances. You want to feel what's going on. You have the knowledge, how you behave in your values, and you have your own goals. Because let's face it, a lot of women are going to be single at some point in their lives because we do generally outlive men. So there will be a time where most women are going to need this kind of help and coaching and knowledge so that they don't have to go, I call it going through the storm. I use a buffalo in my logo specifically because a friend of mine gave me a print of a buffalo with the wonderful saying from the Native American Wilma Mankiller about cows go around the storm and they wait it out, and the buffalo just puts their head down, goes right through it.
It goes straight through it because
I really want to inspire other women to be able to be confident enough.
that's
Charge the storm,
amazing.
yeah.
Through those storms,
Yeah.
the
Listen,
storm now, but also the storms to come.
I love that analogy because if you think about it, that storm's going to hit you regardless, but they really do put their head down and just go through it because they know that if you go straight through it, it's over with faster. And then you get to the clear side. You get on the outside of that. I love this. Kathy, where can women and people who want your help find you at?
Yes, I'm at my website, solowomenandwealth.com.
Solowomenandwealth.com.
Correct.
Just wanted to make sure we got that clear. Awesome.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And at my my email, Kathypass.com, and on Facebook at Solo Women and Wealth. as
That's
well.
solowomenandwealth.com. Kathy at kathyposs.com. And on Facebook, solowomenandwealth.com. We'll make sure that all those links are out there so people can find you.
Great.
You got something special here. Like, this is...
Well, and along those lines, Blane, I want to touch on this, Kathy, because tell us a little bit about your Boston group, because I know you're doing something really special there. And I want to just touch on that briefly before we let you go today. So tell us a little bit about your Boston group.
Oh, it's wonderful. So through my accreditation, through the Association of Financial Counselors, which I did a whole education piece on that and took a big test, and we have to have 1,000 hours of experience to get completely certified. And so through that experience hours, they connect with this wonderful nonprofit out of Boston called Women's Money Matters. And it's a nonprofit that really focuses on low-income women, a lot of which have just come out of transitional housing or are in transitional housing.
Wow.
And it's so wonderful. We have weekly group workshops where there's a lot of education pieces, presenters on specific topics. And then each coach has a client that we work with every week, discussing and helping them on their goals and working through any questions they have on those topics. And it has been a wonderful experience. Yes, my client just got out of transitional housing and she just bought her first house.
Oh, you're
So
bringing tears to my eyes right now. Gosh, wow.
It's very, very touching, and she just has the most optimistic perspective that it's just wonderful. And I find it really refreshing because this group really talks about their money.
Yeah.
And
Just incredible.
it is really incredible and wonderful because that's going to take them a long way. Whereas sometimes money's hard to talk about.
It is. We were taught it was taboo. That's a taboo topic when you grow up. It was... You don't talk about money, politics, or religion. That was it.
That's
know.
it. That's it.
So I've learned so much, and from them really as the group and with my client, I've just learned a lot. But the organization just really gets out there, and they have in person, but they do a lot of virtual. So they have groups that kind of come from all over the areas, and so they can really service a lot of different women.
Just amazing.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Yes, there's a lot of just great stories. So I will always continue to volunteer there.
That's incredible. Gosh.
So-
and we all know like how getting a home right now is incredibly challenging. So kudos to you. That's so heartwarming.
It's just great. Yeah.
I love it. So, Kathy, thank you again for joining us. And if anybody out there needs Kathy's help, solowomenandwealth.com, Kathy at kathyposs.com. That's Kathy with a K. That's KATHY at KATHYPOSS.com.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Anything
good.
else, Kathy? Anything else?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Besides all of the awesome work that you're doing.
I love what you're doing out here. I do.
Well,
I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really found my purpose, and I hope I can help other women be able to find their purpose and hopefully help them support in terms of their financially being able to do what they feel drawn to do. So
I love it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show, Kathy. It's always great to see you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate what you do in our community.
Thank you. All right. That was Kathy Poss from solowomenandwealth.com. If you want to get in touch with her, it's Kathy at kathyposs.com. KATHYPOSS.
That's right.
X. She was great. I love Kathy Poss.
Isn't she
was so
wonderful?
Yes,
Yeah, the things that she does and the volunteer work that she's into and the education, she is just fantastic. Just love her.
That women's Boston group up there. Oh, that's some great stuff that she's got going on right there. That's amazing. I always appreciate when she's around us.
Me too.
You guys got to see her business card. Her business card is one of the best representations of somebody I've ever seen on a business card. It takes over. Her aura takes over.
It's true.
She's great. That whole story with her aneurysm, man.
Oh my gosh, I know. She's been through a lot. She really has. And, I love that she really has. And I love that she is now giving back, right? She, even throughout her struggles, everything, she took that. She's an empowered woman, and now she's teaching other women. So
That's
just
right.
awesome. Love
Thanks,
her.
Kathy, thanks, Kathy, for jumping on the show with us. Bex, what we got coming up? We got some events going on in the neighborhood, right?
Yes, we do. Tuesday the 30th, just right around the corner here, we've got paint night over at Novel Daybreak. It's going to be from 5:30 to 8. Should be a great time. You can register for that at daybreaktreasures.com.
That's right, daybreaktreasures.com/art-workshops. There's one more event coming up that I want to talk about before we get out of here. And that is Ride the Wave Media's own, the Fresh King Benjamin. This Friday night, he will be at Wise Guys, downtown Salt Lake City, the Gateway. Tickets are $20. It's the best $20 you'll ever spend. Seriously.
Oh, we went and saw his show. He's amazing.
Go to wiseguyscomedy.com. Click on the Fresh King Benjamin's picture. Go on, add tickets. Add about 10, 20 tickets to your tab. But honestly, check this out. He's in the Rickles room. The Rickles room only holds about 80 people. So this thing's going to sell out. It's going to sell out. But he's there this Friday night, 7 o'clock. The doors open, 7:30. The show starts.
Get your tickets.
I'll be there. I bought mine. I don't want to be left out in the cold having to see if I can listen through the brick wall and see if I can catch a joke. I want to be in there in the warm, So anyway, that's it for this week's best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Bex, you got anything else for us, or are you good?
That's it. No, y'all. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. If you need anything from us, hit us up at Radio Daybreak on pretty much every social across the board, except for that one that we don't like anymore, that's a cesspool. But find us everywhere else. If you need to email us, info@radiodaybreak.com. We'll catch you guys next week.
Do you want to unleash your inner power and heal your past wounds? Do you want to learn the secrets of Celtic wisdom and magic? Do you want to transform your life and align with your true purpose? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to listen to Practically Magic, the podcast that shows you how to use ancient healing in a modern way. Join me, Courtney Earle, a self-proclaimed witch, healer, and Celtic priestess, and let me guide you through the dark cauldron of your subconscious and help you emerge with a new vision of yourself. Practically Magic is more than just a podcast. It is a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Tune in every week and get ready to experience massive healing, balance, and peace for your soul and body. Listen on Ride the Wave Media.